If you took a poll of 100 Americas asking if they at least knew what Star Wars was, the odds are that even if they hadn't seen the movies, all 100 of them would have at least heard of it. This is because Star Wars is a pop culture phenomenon. Today I'll be explaining how the Star Wars franchise as a whole transcended the movie medium and has become a part of everyday life through the use of exceptional movies filled with iconic characters and lines, its lore outside of the movies, such as its TV shows, books, and video games, and finally, the mass production of its merchandise and toys. Now, it's no secret that the original trilogy of Star Wars films, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, revolutionized movies, and they took the world by storm in the 70s and 80s. After the initial release of A New Hope, George Lucas's space opera shot into the stratosphere and instantly transformed Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher into household names for their roles as Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia, respectively. A New Hope was seen by 40.8% of the country in 1977 in theaters alone. In some cases, it was shown in theaters for the entire year. And the trilogy also consists at the top of trilogy movies ever, as well as individual, with Empire Strikes Back consistently ranking in the top 10. Darth Vader is ranked among the top 3 universally known characters across any form of media in the world. And lines such as "May the Force be with you" and "No, I am your father" come in at number 1 and 22 on the list of most famous movie quotes ever, respectively. The movies are also chock full of other iconic characters such as Yoda, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Emperor, as well as stormtroopers, which are a universal icon in the world as well. Now, on top of extremely well-known movies, Star Wars is prevalent in almost every other walk of life. There's several TV shows, dozens of books, and over 100 video games that are set in the Star Wars universe, with the Old Republic series consistently ranking in the top 5 for the best video games ever. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original, is also consistently ranking among some of the best multiplayer games ever. Not just Star Wars. Now, people who love Star Wars have a seemingly infinite supply of anything they could ever ask for. Personally, I myself have all the Star Wars movies, the cartoons, I have posters, dozens of the video games, 2 of the books, and even a Star Wars themed Monopoly set. Star Wars became the first Goliath of merchandising in the 70s and has continued this trend to this very day. As I stated before, I own a lot of Star Wars memorabilia. After the release of A New Hope, George Lucas made more money from selling this merchandise than he did from the gross of $40+ million from A New Hope alone. He began to actually create and design characters knowing that their toys would sell. An executive on the Star Wars franchise has gone on record to say by 1980, the Star Wars toys made 3 times as much as the actual films. Boba Fett, a character that had mere minutes of screen time in the original trilogy, with just a few speaking lines, became a huge plot point in the prequels because his toys sold so well. He's one of the most overrated characters ever and was barely featured in the movies, but everybody knows who he is. The fact that the majority of the country knows the names and stories of characters such as Darth Vader, Yoda, Luke, and even more minor characters such as Boba Fett prove how much Star Wars has really integrated with society. If someone is describing a rogue character who has a heart of gold, they don't just say that, they simply say he's a Han Solo type. Star Wars has transcended cinema through its exceptional movies, its plethora of other forms of media, and, seemingly most importantly, its merchandising. There's a reason that we know and love Star Wars, besides the endearing story and characters, and it's because the mass amount of exposure that it has in our everyday lives.